When we moved into Salt Lake, we lived at 563 2nd South. It was right at the end of when West High School ended and East High School began. Part of the kids that went to West 12th Ward attended East High. Part of them went to West High. East High was where the rich kids lived. West High was where all of the different backgrounds were from. And South High was kind of the middleman. What a wonderful thing to happen. To move into a high school. I attended early morning seminary, and Marion D. Hanks was my seminary teacher, my principal at the seminary at West High School. I also had a release time where Spencer Hatch was my teacher. I loved seminary. I loved Marion D. Hanks. I really did have wonderful teachers. I had a new education. Jim was going to Jordan Junior High. He loved high school too. I'm not sure that it made as big a difference in Jim's life as it did in mine. But one of the things is that Jim had a scoutmaster that took him under his wing, made sure that he went to all the father-son activities, that participated in scouting in every way. He became his surrogate father. His name was Gil Jensen. We both had lots of friends. Two of my best friends lived next door to the apartment house that we lived in, Bonnie Campbell and Sharon Coffin. We all went to West High together. Two of my teachers was Phyllis Roundy and Irma Adams in Mutual. What wonderful young women leaders they were. I cannot tell you what a change moving to Salt Lake made in my life. I will be eternally grateful to my mother for making that sacrifice. We lived on 2nd South for about a year, and then we moved to 460 South, 4th West, or 460 4th South. And then Mom bought the house at 460 South, 8th West. And that's where we moved in when I was a senior in high school. And that's where Mom was living until she sold it and moved back to Santaquin. We were part of Pioneer State, the 25th Ward. Mom taught Beehive. She loved the ward. They were good to her. I loved the ward. I taught my mates after I was 21. A whole new life opened up for me. At this time, Ray had sold our house in Santaquin and moved to Lander, Wyoming. Doyle had built a beautiful house and was raising his family in Santaquin. Joanne was going back and forth between Nevada and Utah. Noreen married Wayne Bentley. Marge and Jess got a divorce, and Marge married Steve Pinter and had 3 sons. We saw all of our family frequently. Mom's sisters came by, Ione and Uncle Joe, Aunt Mud and Uncle Paul. And of course, Uncle Ray lived in Salt Lake, so we saw him and Minnie all the time. We had so much security. Mom and I loved, it was the time of the Broadway musicals, and they would come and put on a performance. We missed none of them. We loved going to those musicals. Almost every week we went to Temple Square and went through the guided tour with Uncle Herbert, who was a guide on Temple Square, and he did his spiel going into the tabernacle with the acoustics, telling the story about the seagulls, telling the story of the pioneers to members and non-members that came and visited Temple Square. We spent so many visits on Temple Square with Uncle Herbert. He came to our house for dinner at least once a week. It was wonderful having family. Linda kept in touch. He came to Salt Lake about once a month to check on us to see how we were doing. Still taking care of Mom, helping her make her decisions. Now that I know so much more than I did, I can see the Lord's hands in everything that happened. When I was in the fall of when I was 20, I met Kurt Bursig. We were engaged in December and we got married the following April.